Hello, welcome in Straßenfoto, second episode. Today I want to talk about the kind of gear, the kind of equipment, what kind of camera you will take with you in the street to get some amazing street photography. So for that I will talk about my experiences, and at the time I think it was around, at the beginning of 2000, maybe 2003 or 2002. I remember a good friend of mine get his first digital camera, and he was grey. He was with a huge lens and a body. You can flip the body, not the screen, but the whole body, just up or down to get the different point of view. And the brand who created this camera is SONY, and I get this camera with me. I save a couple of euros to buy the same camera he get. And so it's this one, the Cybershot Dsc F 717, and this camera has only 5 megapixels, but it's enough for what you want to do, honestly. And the lens is a very nice lens. It's a Carl size Vario sonar with an aperture, wide aperture to from 2 till I think 9. Only 9, and the speed is, if I remember well, I don't remember. It's okay. So I start to work with it in manual focus, in manual mode, and you have a very small screen behind and a viewfinder, electronic viewfinder, which is very nice too. You have a USB plugged here. I get just one battery with it, and this memory card with only 2 gigabytes. I think it doesn't work with more than 2, maybe 4, but I'm not sure of that. And the huge point on this camera is the lens. Very, very nice lens, very clear, very sharp, and the details and the color balance and how it works to get what you see is very, very nice with it. And then the body, you can orientate the body the way you want, depends the view you want to get, and then it's like those rolleiflex you see on the top, and you don't get your eyes stick on the viewfinder, and you can get the shot you want, and you can still by pressing over there change with the dial the aperture and the speed. You have a night mode too, and you have a flash also. I don't remember how I can put the flash on. I think it's with the battery, but yeah, I think it was with the battery, but you have a flash who works very nice too. So this camera, I start with this camera. It's not very heavy, it's not very light, it's good for a start. And then I switch to the Nikon D2H, which is a very small, light and discreet camera. Of course, I'm joking, but I start with this camera. Another friend of mine get this one, so the one you see is the one she get. And then when I get the chance to get this camera, my property, I never stop to shoot with it. And it's 4 megapixels. It's lens, you can change the lens on this camera, of course. It's a pro camera, and it works perfectly. It still works perfectly. It comes out in 2003, I think. Yeah, around 2000, and fully manual, great. You shoot JPEG. You have a small screen, a little bit bigger than the Sony Cybershot. But honestly, this camera is one of my favorite. I start with it, but it's very heavy. It's super huge. And when I used to get the telephoto lens 28 till 300, yeah, it's a little bit massive. And for street photography, you can do it, but you have to be in your own bubble. You have to be in your own world to forget you have this big camera in your hand, and you have to get big arms. And this is the reason why my friend at the time says, okay, I would like to sell this camera because it's huge, and I want to get a very small one, something like cool pics from Nikon too. It's very small, but this one, I remember this one, and I start with this, and I was very happy, and I'm still happy if I get the desire to shoot with this camera. And then from Nikon I change, and I get this little baby. It's a Leica Digilux 2. The year it comes out, it was I think around 2005 or 2004. Some say in the internet 2003, but I'm not sure about it. This camera is great because you can totally manually set everything. You can set on the lens directly the aperture. You can set with this dial the speed, and then you have a pop-up flash. If I take this out, because when you get the flash on the shoe, you can't use the pop-up flash, but then you can use it this way or you can use it this way, and it's pretty powerful for a little camera like this. But to be honest, I didn't use the pop-up flash on this camera. The lens is Vario Summicron. Yeah, Vario Summicron with an aperture, wide aperture 2.0. The lens is a 28 equivalent 35 millimeters, still 90. It's good to have a zoom. Sometimes I use it, sometimes no, but I think it's useful to have a zoom on this kind of camera. It's a bridge. You can't change the lens. The lens is massive too, and it was designed to looks like the M9 some way. Behind the screen is almost like the same size than the Nikon. It's very nice. The menu on this camera is super simple, and the viewfinder, you have like three kind of viewfinder, so it's electronic only, and you have two helps to get the focus right. One square up here, and then a little square in the middle of the viewfinder. Or you have the second version. It's like the whole viewfinder become the help to get the focus right. And then I got nothing else to say about this camera. It's a legend. If you go to the internet, and if you type Leica Digilux 2, you will see a lot of people just talk about 100% good stuff about this baby. I really love this camera. It's just, you can't go more than 2000 of a second for the speed, which is enough for me. And then you open it 2 till 11, and you can also, with the ring directly on the lens, get the automatic for the aperture, and then on the dial for the speed, automatic too. It's very simple. What I say, you can shoot raw. The thing is, you can't get more than 2 gigabytes. I don't remember if 4 works, but up to 2, it's a little bit. You can't use, for example, 8 gigabytes. You won't accept it. That's the default. But at the time it's okay. So I get plenty of 2 gigabyte cards, and the lens is very. I can take the hood off, and the lens, it's very nice. It's a huge piece of glass, clean. It's made in Japan. It's not made in Germany, but everyone knows Japan camera. Japanese people, made things way better than many people. They have their own view of quality, but this little camera, the quality of this little camera is just amazingly perfect. I get 3 battery. The batteries stay pretty long time, but with 3 batteries enough. And then I mostly shoot JPEG on this camera. What I could say, nothing else. It's a very nice feel. It's heavy, and the lens for the zoom, it's smooth like butter, and when you get the focus, it's a little bit more fast, but it's very nice too. So if you didn't know this camera, it cost at the beginning around 2,000, but today you can get it around 300 to 600 euros. So I think it's very worth it. And then from Leica, I get um, this little things, I think you know it, it's the Ricoh GR2. It's not the last model, but it's the GR2. It's a very nice point shoot camera. It's super small. It's without the battery is 170 grams instead of the Nikon, which is with a big lens. It could be 1 kilo and 200 or 300 grams. So it's very heavy. I go up to 2 kilos with certain lens. It's crazy. But with this one, with this little Ricoh, that's my friend in every circumstances. I put that in my bag, I put that in my pocket, I put that everywhere. I walk in the street and I shoot people's when they are very close and they didn't even know I'm shoot. It's silent mode, it's mirrorless, it's fast. If you set it in JPEG, you can choose your number of megapixels. You can shoot square like the little SONY. You can shoot. You have a macro mode. You have. You can set two favorite setup. You can do little videos. You have priority mode, shutter speed. You have manual mode. Everything is on this camera. You have a little flash at the same time. It's very cute, and honestly, this camera is just made for street photography. So I start from this one and I show you at the end this one. So if you want to go to change your equipment to something very useful, if you have to choose between this one or this one, I will not hesitate to ask you to try maybe before, if you know someone who has the GR, try the GR and you will see. If I get the Leica, it's just a story, because I'm this kind of person who is a little bit sentimental. So I will tell you the story later about the Leica, but with the GR you can really achieve a very good amount of work in street photography. So that's it for today, and I hope you enjoy this episode, and I will tell you, see you next time, and until, do what you want, but go out and shoot. Cheers.